Have you ever noticed that no matter how much you work on yourself, how much you heal, grow, improve, or do the right things, there's still this quiet, persistent feeling underneath it all that says, it's not enough. And maybe you've tried to reason with it. Maybe you've told yourself you just need more confidence.
You know what you're doing and you are good at it. Just believe in yourself and go out there and shine.
More discipline, more healing, more success. But the feeling doesn't go away because not good enough is not a personal failure. It's a conditioned state. Most of us are taught that self-worth is something we earn. You earn it by looking a certain way, being productive, being desirable, being successful, being chosen.
Please turn to your left.
Now to your right.
And look straight ahead.
So when we don't feel good enough physically, or financially, or emotionally, we assume the problem is us. But what if the problem isn't you? What if the feeling of inadequacy is structural? Because here's the truth. A society built on hierarchy, consumption, and control cannot function if people feel whole. Whole people don't overconsume. Whole people don't chase approval. Whole people don't need to constantly prove their worth. So instead, we're taught to look outside ourselves for validation. And this is where The Wizard of Oz becomes such a powerful metaphor. When I was a young girl, I loved The Wizard of Oz. It was one of my favorite movies. Little did I know, in my adult life, that story would take on a whole new meaning. There's a book called The Wizard of Oz and Other Narcissists by Eleanor Payson. On the surface, it's about narcissistic family systems. But when I read it, something clicked on a much larger level. I realized that what happens in narcissistic families is a microcosm of what happens in society. The family is the training ground. The culture is the scaled up version. Same roles, same dynamics, same illusion of power. Once you see that, it becomes clear why so many of us walk around feeling less than, even when we're objectively doing just fine. The wizard represents himself as all-powerful, all-knowing, untouchable. But behind the curtain, he's insecure, he's afraid, he has no real power at all. His authority only exists because no one is allowed to question him. This is how narcissistic systems work. In families, the narcissistic parent defines reality. In society, institutions, media, wealth, and status do the same thing. You're told this is success, this is beauty, this is value. And if you don't match it, you assume you're the problem. Dorothy represents the one who sees something is wrong. Not broken, not deficient, just seeking home, back to herself, back to safety, back to truth. The scarecrow believes he has no brain, and that's the gaslighting we experience. When your perception is constantly questioned, you start to doubt yourself. The Tin Man believes he has no heart, the emotional shutdown that comes when sensitivity is punished, mocked, or exploited. The Lion believes he has no courage, the fear of consequences keeping us compliant and small. And just like in the story, society feeds these lessons constantly. Don't trust yourself. Don't trust your feelings. Don't risk stepping outside the rules. Then there are the flying monkeys. They aren't powerful. They don't lead. They enforce. And they do it because they're afraid. If they refuse to comply or question authority, they'll be punished, discarded, or turned on next. This is how the system survives, not just through top-down power, but through fear passed sideways. Everyone is stuck, and that is how they keep the illusion intact. One of the first places not enough shows up is in the body. From a young age, we're bombarded with messages. Anti-aging ads, before and after images, fix this, erase that, correct yourself. Whether we call it propaganda or cultural conditioning, the effect is the same. A completely natural process, aging, changing, softening, evolving, is framed as a problem. So you monitor yourself constantly. Assess, compare, correct. And at the same time, we're fed the things that make us feel worse. Fast food, processed snacks, sugary convenience, advertising that teaches craving over nourishment. We aren't shown vegetables, we aren't shown how to care for ourselves, we are shown how we are lacking, and then sold the solution to our dissatisfaction. The contradiction isn't accidental. A grounded, healthy body is harder to manipulate, so conditioning teaches disconnection instead. Now let's talk about money and freedom. We live in a culture where extreme wealth and luxury are shoved in our faces. Mansions, private jets, perfectly curated lifestyles of excess. The message is, this is what success looks like. Meanwhile, most people are struggling to get by. So we internalize the gap. We feel behind, inferior, like we failed. And celebrity culture intensifies it. They aren't just famous. They are framed as more worthy, more alive, more important. Celebrities are the equivalent of the golden child in the narcissistic family dynamics. What all of these things really represent is freedom. The freedom to live your life, the freedom to rest, the freedom to enjoy yourself without constant restriction. Desire versus programming. There's nothing wrong with wanting more. There's nothing wrong with improving yourself. The challenge is knowing whether your desire is authentic or programmed. It comes from your truth. The other comes from conditioning. And when you're chasing the wrong one, your energy goes outward, toward comparison, toward perfection, toward validation, instead of inward, toward creation, toward living. Perfection is an illusion. Perfection is a moving target, a younger face, a bigger bank account, a better body. The chase is endless. And while you're running on this treadmill, your energy is consumed, not by life, not by your creativity, but by the system. This is why creation suffers. This is why innovation stalls. This is why our energy is drained. Question the voice that says you're not enough. Ask, who benefits if I believe this? Treat your body as your home, not a project. Care, nourishment, movement, not punishment. Redefine success privately. Freedom, alignment, creativity, and joy over visibility or comparison. Use your energy for creation instead of chasing illusions. Build your art, your life, your projects that belong to you. When you do this, you reclaim sovereignty. You stop feeding the machine. You start feeding your life.
This is the best camping trip ever. I love being outside with everyone around a warm bonfire.
Me too. It is amazing.